What's going on, everybody? It's Adam here with another video. I'm coming to you today from a forest in Nova Scotia, obviously, out of Nova Scotia. I'm on the eastern shore of Nova Scotia out here, and this is a beautiful trail called the Chapel Gully Trail, or the Gully Chapel Trail, out in Canso, Nova Scotia. So, pardon the light, I'm gonna be shaded and lit up a few times here. Here we go. Anyways, I wanted to make a little walk and talk video today, a little departure from my van stuff I've been doing. Want to make a little walk and talk and give some of my advice and experiences about what it's like being a musician in a van. This can go for any artist of any kind. I think you can get something from this too if you're in the arts. But specifically for musicians, I've got a few things to say. You know, I've been at this for a little while now. It's my 3 months in a van now. And I did this a few years ago as well. And I've also lived off-grid in a cabin. So I've lived like unconventionally, lived in unconventional places for quite a while. So I've learned about, in terms of spaces, what works for me and what doesn't. I have a good idea, or a better idea than what I used to have. So anyways, there's good and bad. I'll give it to you, I'll lay it out, and you can of course take what you need from it. So start with the good here. Good things about being a musician in a van. You're pretty inspired traveling around. Travel leads to inspiration. Oh, there's a little spider on my microphone. Get out of there, little guy. There we go. Travel leads to inspiration. So moving around, getting new experiences leads to inspiration. Feelings of inspiration. You have a new perspective, new experience. It makes you see things in a new way. And then for artistic folks, it inspires you. That's what happens to me anyways. So I've had all kinds of new experiences, too many to even count, on the road here, traveling around Eastern Canada, and I've been left with all kinds of great inspiration to create new music for it. So that's a huge plus. You're gonna get that, traveling around the band. So just wanted to put that one out there first. Secondly, it's cheaper to live this way. If you're thinking about like ditching your place and just going into a van, yeah, you're gonna have less bills. Now, as a side note, if you're just going to be touring, like doing a little tour, and you're thinking about doing van life for like a couple weeks while you're touring, that's a no-brainer. Like, just do that. But I'm talking about people who actually want to give up their place and try this out. Yeah, it's going to be cheaper. You don't have rent, you don't have mortgage, and you don't have a place to worry about. If you own a place, you don't have a place to worry about anymore. It's very freeing. So that's kind of hand in hand. You will have less bills. You got to worry about your insurance, your gas money, your phone, your food. But that's it. Then your bills are non-existent after that, unless I'm forgetting something. But your basics are covered and they're low. The costs are low. So that leads to more freedom. You're going to have more freedom living in a van. You're not going to have to worry about working so much, whatever your job happens to be, because you're going to have more freedom in the van. You're going to have less bills, is what I'm getting at. So that's a huge plus as well. For people in the arts, we know how it is, struggling away. It is a really nice break from the regular life stuff you got to worry about. Thirdly, I forgot what I was going to say. I remembered it. So thirdly, being a musician on the road, it just lends itself very well to the lifestyle of traveling around and playing all over the place. That's what a lot of us do. So if you got a home on wheels, it just makes life so much simpler. You don't have to have a home base somewhere. Your home base is where you go, where you are. So even if you want to try it out for a season, it's very cool because you're going to have everything you need with you all the time. And you don't have to worry about some other place. It's just there with you, and it's with your work. Everything is all in one spot. Your work, your house, everything. It's so being a musician, yeah, obviously it lends itself very well to touring, to playing at new places. You want to go busk here, you want to go approach this bar there. It's all possible. You want to go to a new town and see the music scene, go to the open mic and network with all kinds of people. Easy to do if you're in a van, if you're always on the move. So that's also a perk. It lends itself well to the lifestyle. So there's a lot of good things about doing this if you're a musician. I just want to talk about the bad because there's a yin and yang going on. So I'll just jump right into it. The difficulties that come up are just a matter of space. Go figure. You're in a small van now. You don't have a separate space to work. It's really nice to have a separate space, I've realized, by doing this, where all your instruments are in one other room. You know, it's just got your studio or your room has a vibe to it. Because right now, in my van, I do everything from the same spot. I brush my teeth, eat, sleep, practice, write, everything on my bed, you know? My bed folds up, thank God, so there's a little bit of a change, but it's really nice to have a separate place to work. It really changes your frame of mind. That is real, I've come to realize. So keep that in mind. That's gonna be a hardship for you. On the note of space, I've brought too many instruments. I have 3 guitars, a fiddle, a mandolin, and a set of Irish bagpipes, and some recording gear as well. So this is a bit much, believe it or not. Like, I didn't think I had much stuff until I got into the van full time. So you might find the same thing. I think it really lends itself well, the van life, as a musician, to the hardcore purists and minimalists. Like someone just like plays fiddle and goes in their van. They got one instrument, boom, gone. One instrument, one laptop, you know, one mic, minimalist type of gear. I wish I didn't bring some of the instruments I brought because I've hardly touched some of them, I hate to admit, but it's just what happens. Because the other thing, speaking of space, is everything is, you know, set up in such a way that if you move this, then you got to move that, then you got to move that, then you got to move over here because it's in your way now. So the space thing really gets annoying. It's nice to have a separate space to do your actual work. So that's a huge one for me. And recording is much more annoying because I have very limited space in my van and the setup is really annoying every time and I'm like, oh my God, not again. So instead of being excited for the recording process, I'm kind of dreading it because of the space thing, right? So anyways, that's a difficulty for sure. The other difficulty I just want to touch on too is the freedom is a double-edged sword. So let's say you have enough money saved up to just go off and you have gigs booked and then you have time in between. Well, we're very used to very structured lives with jobs and all that stuff. And structure is good, I've come to realize, because freedom is a double-edged sword. If you have too much freedom, which I've gone through bouts of that, too much freedom can actually make you become lost. So everyone says, oh, the freedom's great, the freedom's great. Yeah, it is, but know how to use it. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have a learning curve with it. If all of a sudden you have all this free time and nothing challenging you, you're gonna have to learn how to come back to earth again and like ground yourself and keep pushing yourself, keep yourself disciplined, keep yourself challenged. If you're not doing any of those things, freedom is kind of useless. It'll be a burden. It won't actually be good for you anymore. That's my experience with it. Because I've had, you know, I have a lot of things keeping me going and keeping me focused, keeping me grounded. And if I didn't have that kind of stuff, like, it would just be like I'd be floating around in outer space, not having a destination. Some people really want that and go for it, experience it. But you know, in my experience, I've had that before. And yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure. It's good to have things keeping you challenged and pushed and grounded. And if I could add one more little difficulty, getting used to the van life itself. You're gonna lose some sleep trying to get into it, you know. You're gonna be tired a little more often, and you're gonna have to get used to smaller space, so it will tire you out faster than just living in a regular house. So be warned about that too. There's good and bad in everything, and van life is no exception. You get the highlight reel on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and everything, but there's good and bad. So that's my experience with the good and bad stuff. On a good note, I'm out in the woods right now in a new place, and it's been wonderful. So I'm gonna leave you there and say bye. I hope that helped you out. Hope it helped out the musicians out there and the artists that have been thinking about this for a while, because it sounds very dreamy, very appealing to us. But those are some realities sorry, some realities that you should know before you jump in. All right, that's it for now. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.